Bitcoin is right now retesting a very important downward sloping resistance line that right now is most likely going to flip into support. It is weekend, so we're creating another Bitcoin CME gap. I'm going to be talking exactly about this cycle and in what part of the cycle we're currently sitting and why this is one of the worst periods to be fading the market. So on today's update video, I'm going to be exactly explaining about what is happening next on Bitcoin. I'm going to be talking about a lot of important indicators and charts that are telling us something about what is about to be happening next year. The spot Bitcoin ETF, much more information will be getting discussed on today's update video. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap all that like button back above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So straight away going in towards the content, we can currently start to see that Bitcoin is creating another CME gap over the course of this weekend. This time around 104.8k dollars. And yes, if we're just looking at all the last times, guys, every single time Bitcoin creates these CME gaps, so we of course either see potentially we break below it, but then of course straight away we come back to fill up the CME gap, or in these other occasions or the other times here, guys, we are just consolidating right around that price here. So this has literally happened 98% of all the times that Bitcoin creates a CME gap. That, of course, if we do create one, we're going to fill it up on the Monday or potentially even Tuesday. So yeah, this is really the expectation. Bitcoin is probably for the next 48 hours going to be hovering around this price. Further on, we can just currently start to see that Bitcoin is actually starting to retest this major symmetrical triangle in the 4 hourly time frame we actually have been creating. I mean, ever since we created this one, of course, we first of all started to see a move towards the upside. We start to see a break of the previous high, and now we start to see a break of the downward sloping trend line which we were creating in this consolidation phase. And now ultimately Bitcoin is of course starting to look a little bit more bullish. But the question really is here, when are we going to see that big blast out towards the upside? Because the price target of this symmetrical triangle is going to be laying somewhere around 113 to 112,000 US dollars. So that is of course very exciting. But of course, if you do however approach it on a different time frame, let's say the 12-hour time frame, you can currently clearly see here we're creating a major compression pattern, and whenever this compression is going to be breaking out is where we're going to be seeing that next major breakout for Bitcoin to come here. So also on the daily time frame, we can start to see here we created this downward sloping trend line, horizontal support line, and basically we broke above the downward sloping resistance line, and now we're starting to see a push towards the upside. So ultimately, Bitcoin is starting to look very strong right now. Here, if you're just zooming out at an even bigger perspective, you can start to see that clearly this is starting to look like a major breakout. And really, if you're also going to be looking at the previous cycles, compare it to where of course in 2015 to 2018 Bitcoin were standing, and this is basically a price comparison since this cycle low here, and Bitcoin is just moving in a very similar way. But also, if we're going to overlay all these other cycles, no cycle yet so far has managed to top out so early already. So I do really also still believe that Bitcoin is not topped out yet here, because that is clearly what happened every single time around in these previous cycles. And right now, we can see a major lack of retail investors. And honestly, usually a market top is getting created whenever we see a lot of retail investors stepping in towards the market. However, the most amount of investors in the market right now are larger investors and not necessarily retail. So that is ultimately also a very bullish sign. We can see that still the funding rates are not spiking yet here, not indicating any somewhat of FOMO in the market. Then also we can start to see that this money supply is starting to increase again here. So all these interesting signals are showing us that likely Bitcoin is just going to have another leg higher. And of course, one of the most important indicators, which is the total market cap from the stablecoins, is also still going quite exponential. And as long as we're seeing more stablecoin supply getting created, the higher ultimately Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market is gonna be going eventually. So those are very bullish things if you would ask me here. But if we're also going to be looking at the spot Bitcoin ETF here, yesterday we saw about $500 million worth of inflows coming in again here, and about a small 10 million US dollars worth of inflows coming in on Ethereum. So yeah, once again, some major buys coming in here. And yes, we're right now already having the 9th consecutive day of positive inflows on the spot Bitcoin ETF here, and that is just something very beautiful to see. And right now we're only a couple $1 million away here before hitting the $40 billion cumulative flow. The $40 billion cumulative flow here. So that is absolutely insane if you'd ask me here. But Anyways, I quickly want to also mention here an insane deposit bonus that is currently running here. And guys, if you are right now interested in trading, like I am doing also myself here, go to the highest link description of today's video where you can find a link here to Blofin. And if you're right in a sign up account using that link below, you're not only going to participate in a $110,000 deposit bonus, which is basically a Porsche 911, which is quite insane here, but also you will be able to trade on the best exchange out there with the most amount of listings, the most amount of liquidity. And yeah, make sure to check it out if it's available in your region. But anyways, if it is, definitely make sure to sign up an account using the link below to also claim this insane deposit bonus. And if you get a certain threshold in terms of volume, you will be getting a Porsche 911, which is quite insane if you'd ask me here. So also looking further in Bitcoin, doing an even deeper dive here, guys, we can currently see that previously around this major level of resistance is right now flipping into support, and ultimately Bitcoin is looking very strong right here. I mean, this level previously around got us rejected, now it's flipping in support, and ultimately this is going to be sending Bitcoin much higher. We can also start to see here that the liquidity grab is over, and honestly every single time in February is where we did saw the major price increasement. And of course probably we're going to need somewhat of a catalyst, but yeah, if we're going to be looking at the potential catalyst which is about to be coming, it is going to be the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Just like the Bitcoin ETF approval, we went up massively. Now what is likely to be happening next year is that strategic Bitcoin reserve here, and I'm very excited for it. So whenever that is going to come, probably we're going to get also something for Solana, etc., and that ultimately could be sparking that major altcoin season, which we have been waiting for a very long time here. I mean, this chart is clearly indicating something big is about to be happening anytime soon here. The open interest on Ethereum is also quite heavily rising here, which is ultimately a great sign here in my opinion. We can see that February has been one of the best months ever for Ethereum, and that is usually also the period where altcoin season really is going to be taking its place here. And yeah, if you're just going to be looking at all these charts here on these previous cycles, it was usually this part of the cycle where we of course reclaimed that trend line, where we are going to go quite exponential. And Ethereum is creating a major falling wedge pattern, which I ultimately think is looking extremely bullish here. You can clearly see here on the daily time frame, Ethereum creating a downward sloping resist line, a downward sloping support line, but it is getting squeezed up here, and it's creating just perfectly a falling wedge pattern. And I've talked about these patterns so many times before in the channel, and ultimately I do think it's a great opportunity to take some trades on Ethereum. I have opened up some long positions as well on ETH. I really think it's going to be popping. This will be the most hated rally on Ethereum because everyone is just shitting on Ethereum, but that is why I do believe it's going to be popping so much higher, and especially in the upcoming months ahead of ourselves. So I'm excited for what is about to be coming. Altcoin season looks to be happening any moment right now here, and yeah, really time is on our side right now here. So this is it for me in today's update video. It was definitely once again a little bit of a shorter video. Anyways, if you did enjoy, don't forget to slap on that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow on another update video. Peace out. Goodbye.